Okay, to begin your first Anvil application, go to anvil.works, click on the Start Building link. That'll open up the Anvil login screen where you can either choose to sign up for a new Anvil account, or if you already have an account, enter your email address and password or sign in with your Google account. That'll open up the Anvil editor where we'll select blank app. And for now, we'll choose the material design template. With that, Anvil opens up the IDE, the Integrated Development Environment, where in the center of the screen, you see a design view, which can be switched over to a code view. And you can also choose to split the screen between the design and code view. We'll go back to the design view. And on the right-hand side of the design view, you see a toolbox with a number of widgets that you can drag onto the design layout screen. And if you scroll down, you'll see that there are a number of properties that you can adjust for each of those widgets that are displayed on the screen. On the left-hand side of the screen, there are a number of options where you can choose to add new forms, add new data sources, database tables, and adjust other settings in the app. We're going to close off this settings page, go back to our default design view, which is called Form 1. That's our first layout screen. We'll go over to the toolbox, grab a button widget, and drag it on to the design layout screen. Now, over on the right-hand side, we'll scroll down. And you'll see a number of properties that we can adjust for that currently selected button. We'll get that button a name. We'll call this button Hello. And we'll set the text for the button to say, click me. There are some other properties here we can adjust about the button. One is its appearance. If I change that to primary color, you'll see that the appearance and color of the button changes. We can also choose to add an icon. And we'll just choose an icon here so you can see how it appears. And then we can change the alignment to either left, center, right, or full. We'll choose full so it takes up the full allotted space for that button. If we scroll all the way down in the properties panel on the right, you'll see the 3 events that are available for a button are show, hide, and click. The click event is fired whenever a user clicks on that button widget. We'll click on this button here and you'll see the code view opens up, and the IDE has created some default code which will be run every time the button hello click event is fired. So whenever someone clicks on that button, this code will run. We'll type some Python code here, and you'll see as I begin to type, the editor gives us some autocomplete options. It can tell that one of the things that I might want to type there is the alert function. So I'll select that. It formats the function properly, and I'll have it alert the string hello world. Okay, so I'm going to go back over to the design screen, and you'll see up top there is a button that says run, and we can choose a couple different options for how the running application will appear. We can run it in a split view on the screen, we can run it maximized, or we can run it in a new tab. I'm going to choose run maximized, and this application that we've just created with the button that's going to say hello world when it's clicked will now run. You'll see at the bottom of the page, there's a console. This is where any errors or messages that Anvil needs to display will appear. We can minimize that. So this is the application. It has the button, which now is clickable. And when I click on it, it alerts us with the message that we've typed in. The application is running. I'm going to stop it. And if we click on the publish button, we can choose to publish this app. And by default, Anvil creates a random URL at anvil.app. Let's change that URL. If you have one of the commercial Anvil Account types, they start at $15 a month. You can create your own URLs. Let's call this my hello world app.anvil.app. We'll save it. Oops, look at that. We have a URL that's already been created there. Now, if we click on this, you can see that this URL pops up in our browser, and that URL can now be passed around to anybody who you want to have access to this app. You can post it on a forum on the web. You can send it via email. You can send it in a text or just tell people what the URL is, and they can now run the application that you've created. This is what any user will see when they run your app. They go to the URL that you've created. So at this point, you've seen the basics of how the Anvil IDE works. You've seen a little bit about how the toolbox is used to drag widgets onto the screen, how the properties panel is used to adjust properties of those widgets, how you can run the app, and then how you can publish it so other users can use your app. And we'll end this first part of the tutorial here and continue next with some more features in Anvil.